Hi, everyone. Thank you for attending this session. My name is Pallav Mehta, and I'm a product manager on the Cloud AI team. And today, I'm going to talk to you about delivering highly personalized product recommendations with Recommendations AI. Later in the session, we'll also get to hear from our partners at BigCommerce and Qubit about the success they've had with rolling out recommendations to their customers. To begin with, though, let's acknowledge the metaphorical elephant in the room. Customer shopping behavior has changed for good. With fewer in-store shopping visits, retailers have had to shore up their digital storefronts and explore new ways to meaningfully engage with their customers. Delivering a superior customer experience has become even more of a differentiator for the early movers. And personalized recommendations have emerged as one of the strongest potential drivers of revenue lift. But as many retailers have discovered, delivering recommendations at scale can actually be quite complex and time-consuming. On the surface, it means for a given customer in a given context, deciding which item to recommend. But understanding a customer, especially if you don't have a lot of data about them, or if their habits frequently change, can be hard. Customers also jump between contexts as they mull their shopping decisions. And helping them discover new or poorly cataloged items in a low latency environment can be especially challenging. Here at Google, we've developed smart recommendations into the magic ingredient that makes our flagship properties such a delightful experience. Google Cloud has packaged together the best of breed in deep learning powered personalization and made it available to our customers through Recommendations AI. Recommendations AI uses Google's latest machine learning architectures, which dynamically adapt to real-time user behavior and changes in variables like assortment and pricing. It's a fully managed service, so there's no need to pre-process your data, maintain pipelines, optimize models, or provision infrastructure to deliver at scale. We do it all for you automatically. You simply ingest your data, retrieve, and display recommendation results. You can get up and running fast. An easy-to-use graphical interface can help you integrate your data, configure and serve recommendations, and monitor system performance. And recommendations can be delivered at sub-100 millisecond latency to customers anywhere in the world, irrespective of their language or location. It's a simple three-step process to make the most of Recommendations AI. First, put all your data to work by codelessly ingesting it into the Recommendations AI using Google tools you already use. Next, select your business goals through an intuitive UI with just a few clicks and set your models to train. And finally, serve recommendations anywhere in the customer journey across web, mobile, or email campaigns. As a bonus, we automatically retrain your models daily to draw insights from the changing catalogs, user behavior, or shopping trends, and incorporate them into the recommendations being served. There are two parts to the data that Recommendations AI uses to train personalization models. First, there's your catalog of items to recommend. That includes item descriptions, images, categories, and price. And second, there's customer and event data. That is a history of what users have clicked on or bought. We've made it seamless for you to bring your data to Recommendations AI through a plethora of tools you already use, like Google Tag Manager, Google Analytics 360, Google Shopping, or BigQuery, and are continuously working on ways to eliminate the need for you to write a single line of code to do this. For example, you can now schedule frequent catalog imports from Google Shopping to keep your catalog of items and Recommendations AI up to date. We also monitor the health of your data feed in real time so that you can be notified when the data quality deteriorates. Next, with just a few clicks in the Recommendations AI console, you can specify the business objectives you'd like to cater your recommendations to. First, select the recommendation type that's most relevant for your use case. For example, the recommended for you model is our most personalized model that many of our customers use in a placement on their homepage or in email campaigns. Most customers complement this with the others you may like model through a placement on the product detail page, and the frequently bought together model through a placement in the add to cart pop-up. Next, specify your objective. It could be maximizing the click-through rate on the recommendation, the conversion rate, or revenue per session. And finally, choose from a plethora of fine-tuning options that can enable you to do things like constrain the recommendations to follow certain business or merchandising rules, or increase the diversification of items being recommended, or increase likelihood that higher price items will be recommended. Once you hit the Create button in the console, in just a couple of days, your models will be fully trained, and you'll be able to preview the recommendations they are making before deploying those recommendations in production. Once your models are ready to serve, you can leverage Recommendations AI anywhere in the customer journey. Let's take a look at one customer's journey as an example. A customer begins their journey on a laptop, browsing the sports apparel category, when Recommendations AI recommends shoes. The customer leaves, but comes back to the site on their phone to view more shoes. Recommendations AI steps in again to recommend sunglasses. Our customer adds sunglasses and shoes to their cart, indicating an interest in both items. Here, Recommendations AI recommends shorts, which the customer clicks on to look at, but ultimately abandons their cart. 3 days later, you can send a personalized follow-up email to the customer with recommended items based on the customer's clicks and interests. Recommendations AI closes the loop, spurring the customer to buy sunglasses and shorts, both recommended based on the customer's previous activity across devices. As we can see, high-quality recommendations can work throughout the entire buying process, from initial product discovery on a laptop to consideration on a mobile device to purchasing follow-through via email. With Recommendations AI, delivering anywhere in the customer journey also means delivering to any geographic region. We're globally available, and the API scales to your needs. One of the things I'd like to underscore is how effective Recommendations AI's deep learning models can be at uncovering shopper intent. Legacy recommendation solutions that leverage popularity-based or crowd-based algorithms will usually anchor on items or categories, but miss the opportunity to cater to the individual shopper's journey altogether. Recommendations AI, on the other hand, is truly personalized and looks back at the user's shopper journey to make recommendations to them. That means if a user has shown an interest in watches in the past, even when they are looking at a seemingly unrelated product like a dress, Recommendations AI knows that they have a high propensity to purchase a watch and will recommend it to them. And we're always iterating and always improving. We've made it trivially simple to get started with Recommendations AI through the console. Any Google Cloud customer can now enable the Recommendations AI API and train and manage their recommendation models with just a few clicks. We're constantly adding easier ways to ingest your data, such as with the recent GA360 integration. We also now automatically monitor the quality of your data and give you the ability to preview recommendations in the UI. Our models can now train faster than ever before and are retrained daily to make the most of the changing patterns in your data. We can handle massive catalogs with tens of millions of items. In collaboration with some of our colleagues at Google Research, we're pushing the boundary of what's possible for recommendation systems for retail. As an example, some of the work that's come out of that has made it possible for us to correct for bias with popular items, seasonality, and leverage item metadata to make sense of long-tail items for which we don't have much customer click or purchase data. But ultimately, all of this technology only matters to the extent that it delivers results. As we've been building and scaling Recommendations AI, we've worked with a number of customers to roll out better recommendations to 100% of their production e-commerce traffic. Along the way, we've been able to prove our ability to deliver a significant lift on key business metrics that you care about, as shown in A/B tests controlled by our customers versus their previous recommendation systems. To talk about some of these results, I'd like to introduce Brian and Graham. Brian is the CTO of BigCommerce, one of the largest SaaS e-commerce platforms in the world and an important Google Cloud partner. And Graham is the CEO of Cooke, a leader in AI-led merchandising and personalized experiences, and an early adopter of recommendations AI.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Dhatt, Chief Technology Officer at BigCommerce. Today, I'm going to provide a short overview of BigCommerce, what we do, and why we're really excited about Google Recommendations AI. I'll then share a recent case study on using Google Recommendations AI with one of our merchants and some of our learnings from that. Lastly, we'll talk about what comes next for BigCommerce with Google Recommendations AI. First, to understand who BigCommerce is, it's important to look at the history of e-commerce platforms. Typically, there were two options when it came to e-commerce: open source and SaaS. Merchants that favored full control over the architecture and build of their site chose open source. Merchants that favored simplicity and security chose SaaS. That compromise is really no longer necessary with BigCommerce's open SaaS approach, which gives brands the traditional benefits of multi-tenant SaaS: usability, performance, continuous upgrades, with the flexibility to build and innovate. Over 90% of our platform is exposed via APIs, which gives brands the ability to extend the platform to existing tools and solutions that they might use, or build completely custom solutions to complex problems. Not only do we provide these capabilities, but we take it a step further by investing heavily in integrations with best-of-breed solutions and emerging technologies like AI, for example. It's because of our API-driven architecture and best-of-breed approach that we're here today, talking about Google Recommendations AI. Let's take a closer look why this integration is so exciting for us. When we combine Google's incredible AI technology with BigCommerce's powerful e-commerce platform, incredible things become possible. We can use AI technology to enable merchants to easily automate parts of their merchandising strategy. Shoppers benefit from being able to more easily discover products that they'll love, even when they're browsing through very large product catalogs. To prove the efficacy of Google's AI functionality, we started partnering with the brand Woolrich and their agency Mojo Active. We created an A/B test where half of the shoppers on Woolrich.com got the incumbent experience, where the related product section was powered by a search algorithm. The other half of shoppers got the same visual design, but we used Google's Recommendations AI to determine which related products would show up. Our objective was to increase the click-through rate on related products and ultimately revenue. The results are fantastic. With Google Recommendations AI, we increased the click-through rate by 28% on the related products module, but delivered an amazing 269% increase in revenue among the cohort of shoppers engaging with the related product recommendations. Said differently, this is the revenue from shoppers purchasing related products that they clicked on. We believe this is just the beginning of what's possible to help shoppers discover products they'll love and to help merchants efficiently and profitably grow their business. The integration we built starts by ingesting data into Google's AI platform. This included the merchant's product catalog, as well as 3 months of historical product page view events for initial model training. We continually updated Google with product catalog data and product page view data to keep the machine learning model up to date, and selected the Others You May Like model for the product detail placement. Once this model was built and trained, we wrapped the Google Predictions API into a BigCommerce API. All aspects of the integration to Google's AI are managed by us within our GCP account. Because Woolrich is running their store in BigCommerce and we handled the data integration, Woolrich's agency Mojo Active was able to get Woolrich live easily and quickly with powerful AI technology using a very simple BigCommerce API. While the results were fantastic, we discovered a few challenges along the way. Let's take a look at some of the learnings and where we're headed next. One challenge that surprised us was how pervasive and sophisticated bots have become. We found that over 40% of site traffic was generated from bots, and this was a mixture of good bots that identify themselves and their user agent data, as well as bad bots that pretended to be human visitors. Filtering out the bots became critical to ensure that we train the ML model on human-generated data and to ensure we had accurate reporting on the A/B test. We used 2 methods to improve our bot filtering. One was to improve our use of user agent data, and the other was to require JavaScript execution to trigger events, as older bots don't tend to support JavaScript. In regards to the A/B testing that we set up, we found this to be an incredibly valuable way to learn fast on what is and what isn't working, and ultimately to prove the efficacy of the solution and the great results we achieved with Woolrich. We are extremely excited about the results we've seen together with Woolrich. We're now looking to bring Google Recommendations AI to more merchants on the BigCommerce platform and are expanding the depth and breadth of our integration with Google Recommendations AI. If you're interested in learning more about creating personalized shopping experiences on BigCommerce, please visit us today at bigcommerce.com/Google Next. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. And now with that, I'll turn it over to Graham.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Pallav. Hi, thanks for all your time. My name's Graham Cooke. I'm CEO and founder of Qubit. Excited to be presenting to all of you today. I guess this is the new normal, to be presenting from my home at these wonderful conferences like Google Next. But I'm really excited to take you through how the Qubit clients are using the Google Recommendations AI platform, one of the most exciting technologies we've been working with in a long time. So I think it goes without saying we're reaching the tipping point for digital first commerce. This really means that what I'm seeing across our client base is that there's just more and more confirmation that we've got to be operating with a digital first strategy. If you're a multi-channel retailer, you've in the past been thinking about your biggest stores, and you've been thinking about how to look everything at a store first model, a product first model. Well, really what we're seeing now, it's a digital first model. More and more businesses are talking about that. How do we work from digital? And stores are just essentially an arm of digital first commerce. You know, what's driving this is the fact that it's just gotten massively accelerated. It's been a really hard 6 months. I know all of us have really, found it challenging to be in trading in these times. But ultimately, what we've seen though is a 10-year leap in 90 days time, and that's a 10-year leap in the penetration of e-commerce. And we're now up in that 35 plus of total online spending in e-commerce. And it's incredibly exciting. I mean, what we're seeing is pure plays are doing better than they've ever done. Multi-channel retailers have never seen more sales on e-commerce. And really what all of our clients are saying to us is like, how do we keep up this performance? How do we keep the digital channel performing so well? And so what I always talk to the market and our customers in the industry about is that really is part of this tipping point. Digital commerce experiences are surpassing the in-store experience. And really that's because the digital commerce experience is powered by AI. The site truly knows who you are. It's able to understand you. It's able to guide you through the journey. It's helping you find the things and discover the things you might not have ever found. And simply walking into a store, you don't get that. You don't have that assistance when you're walking to the store in the same way, because that store has been built for everybody who came into the physical location. And the people in that store don't know you deeply in many cases. And so you just don't get as great an experience. And I find myself walking into stores now and thinking, oh, this takes so long to find what I need compared to how well it works to shop on many of our customer sites. So Qubit focuses on driving growth by focusing on relevance for leading retail businesses within fashion, luxury, health and beauty, grocery. And really what our customers are doing is they're using personalization and AI-led merchandising technology to focus on driving relevance for their customer. And by providing more relevant customer experiences, those customers spend more and come back and become more loyal. And our customers are able to continue to be leaders and continue to advance as the trend-setting brands in the industry. So I'm going to talk about one of the experiences that our customer is using around the AI-led recommendations in one of the most notoriously difficult parts to do a recommendation model, the basket page. Now, typically with the your non-one-to-one, your crowd-based models for recommendations, you show a recommendation in the basket, you're probably going to drive conversion down significantly, because you're ultimately distracting your customer as they're ready to check out with something less relevant potentially. Nobody's been doing one-to-one in the basket. And so in many cases, conversion's gone down, maybe basket value's gone up to make up for it, but it hasn't been that good. What we've seen with using AI, Google Recommendations AI in the basket, is we've seen a 5% increase in revenue per visitor, almost the same conversion rate, but a big increase in add to baskets. And really what this is the equivalent of for the first time, and you're applying it to luxury, you're applying it to fashion, you're applying it to health and beauty, is you're creating that impulsive at the checkout purchase opportunity. Just like when you're in an actual physical store and they've put all the items near the checkout for you to just pick them up and put them on the till as you're leaving. So this is that equivalent of impulsive, completely personalized and not distracting. And it's driving 5%, just one recommendation model, carousel doing 5%. And typically what our clients will do is they will actually implement between 5 and 15 various different personalization, AI-powered personalization recommendations carousels across their site, their app, their emails. And the cumulative impact of this is getting to be 20, 25% of additional sales from bringing all these different strategies together. And really what our clients across the base, as they're using more true one-to-one, is they're playing that back to us. They're saying, for the first time, have we actually seen what one-to-one recommendations, one-to-one personalization does for revenue? It drives more revenue than we've ever been able to drive before. And really what I'm seeing is this leap from where we've been all these years. We've just been stuck underneath this impact barrier. And now we're able to break through this with the real AI, real individualization at scale. And it's thanks to platforms like Google Recommendations AI that we're really able to do this. And what we want to give for our customers, we want to give them the combination of the power of the Google Recommendations AI, but we want to give them within the control suite, the merchandising control suite, so that they can control how the recommendation system will actually work, how they can exclude certain products, include other products, the type of model they want to use, and exactly how it's going to look based on the different page templates and the strategies. And this is the relationship between merchandisers and the AI that we think allows merchandising teams to really just accelerate and become more proactive and become the great merchandisers they are, and not have to be constantly working behind the customer. They're working ahead of the customer with this type of technology. And then we marry that up with other types of personalization, personalized content, other type of badging, scarcity, all within a single easy to use platform. And so under the hood, what's actually happening is Qubit is providing a clean, contextually relevant data feed in real time to the Google Recommendations AI. And so what that really looks like here on the left is it's an industry-specific taxonomy. So whether you're in fashion or you're in luxury or health and beauty or grocery, we have a event-based taxonomy specific to your industry. And that allows you to feed this deep contextual real-time flow of information about customers, about products, about transactions into the deep learning AI system via the API. And then all the learning and the training happens on an individual customer, at an individual shopper, at the brand level. And that's what starts to create this incredible recommendation system that then flows back into that merchandising and experience workflow tool. So the merchandiser can control how it's going to look, they can control all the rules, and most importantly, they can measure the results and understand if this type of personalization is effective at driving sales or conversions, and helping to grow the business. And then this is a constant feedback loop from merchandiser feeding back context back into the system, and that goes back into the recommendations learning system. And so, we've been a partner of Google Cloud for over 5 years, and we've never looked back. It's the most phenomenal cloud platform. It's the most advanced for handling real-time data systems like this. And it's the only way we could have scaled what we've built for all of our hundreds of customers. And really what we're handling here at Peak is 120,000 events per second. I mean, we are processing enormous amounts of information on really, on the peak sales days that we're all coming up to in holiday. It takes us as well just a second to take all that real-time information that's just flowing through at that hundreds of thousands per second and put that into the systems that will be key to how the data is trained within the Google recommendations AI, such as BigQuery. And typically our customers are sending with 120,000 different attributes, customer attributes, product attributes into the system for the machine learning to do its magic. And really, I believe that deep learning AI is going to disrupt retail like we've never seen it before. The next 2 years are going to be the biggest shift we've seen in e-commerce since the beginning of e-commerce. And it's all happening right now. AI is going to be at the heart of that. And the Google Cloud Recommendations AI platform is the way to do this. And we'd be really excited to take you through how to use that with the Qubit platform. So we're in the Google Cloud Marketplace, or alternatively, reach out to your Google Cloud account manager or contact us directly at info@qubit.com. We'd love to talk to you, love to hear about your business. I'm going to say thank you very much to everybody, and thank you, Pallav, and thank you, Brian.